wonderful beings, welcome back to Shelter in the Storm with A Course in Miracles lesson number 63. We're just finishing off part 5 of chapter 4. So the ego-body illusion is what we're finishing off tonight. Here we go. Any thought system that confuses God and the body must be insane. Yet this confusion is essential to the ego, which judges only in terms of threat or non-threat to itself. In one sense, the ego's fear of God is at least logical, since the idea of him does dispel the ego. But fear of the body, with which the ego identifies so closely, makes no sense at all. The body is the ego's home by its own election. It is the only identification with which the ego feels safe, since the body's vulnerability is its own best argument that you cannot be of God. This is the belief that the ego sponsors eagerly. Yet the ego hates the body because it cannot accept it as good enough to be its home. Here is where the mind becomes actually dazed, being told by the ego that it is really part of the body and that the body is its protector. The mind is also told that the body cannot protect it. Therefore, the mind asks, "Where can I go for protection?" To which the ego replies, "Turn to me." The mind, and not without cause, reminds the ego that it has itself insisted that it is identified with the body. So there is no point in turning to it for protection. Feeling a bit warm. The ego has no real answer to this because there is none. But it does have a typical solution. It obliterates the question from the mind's awareness. Once out of awareness, the question can and does produce uneasiness. But it cannot be answered because it cannot be asked. This is the question that must be asked. Where can I go for protection? Seek and ye shall find does not mean that you should seek blindly and desperately for something you would not recognize. Meaningful seeking is consciously undertaken, consciously organized, and consciously directed. The goal must be formulated clearly and kept in mind. Learning and wanting to learn are inseparable. You learn best when you believe what you are trying to learn is of value to you. However, not everything you may want to learn has lasting value. Indeed, many of the things you want to learn may be chosen because their value will not last. The ego thinks it is an advantage to not commit itself to anything that is eternal, because the eternal must come from God. Eternalness is the one function the ego has tried to develop, but has systematically failed to achieve. The ego compromises with the issue of the eternal, just as it does with all issues touching on the real question in any way. By becoming involved with tangential issues, it hopes to hide the real question and keep it out of the mind. The ego's characteristic busyness with non-essentials is for precisely that purpose. The preoccupations with problems set up to be incapable of solution are favorite ego devices for impeding learning progress. In all these diversionary tactics, however, the one question that is never asked by those who pursue them is, what for? This is the question that you must learn to ask in connection with everything. What is the purpose? Whatever it is, it will direct your efforts automatically. When you make a decision of purpose, then you have made a decision about your future effort, a decision that will remain in effect unless you change your mind. So that's the end of part 5, chapter 4. Oh, can't find it. Here we go. Lesson 63. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. How holy are you who have the power to bring peace to every mind? How blessed are you who can learn to recognize the means for letting this be done through you? What purpose could you have that would bring you greater happiness? You are indeed the light of the world with such a function. The Son of God looks to you for his redemption. It is yours to give him, for it belongs to you. Accept no trivial purpose or meaningless desire in its place, or you will forget your function and leave the Son of God in hell. This is no idle request that is being asked of you. You are being asked to accept salvation that it may be yours to give. Recognizing the importance of this function, you will be happy to remember it very often today. We will begin the day by acknowledging it and close the day with the thought of it in our awareness. And throughout the day, we will repeat this as often as we can. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. I am the means God has appointed for the salvation of the world. If you close your eyes, you will probably find it easier to let the related thoughts come to you in the minute or two that you should devote to considering this. Do not, however, wait for such an opportunity. No chance should be lost for reinforcing today's idea. Remember that God's Son looks to you for his salvation, and who but yourself must be his son? There we have lesson 63. So following our first practice session of lesson 63, we will do lesson 63. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. Let me see if I can hold the picture where you can see it. Up high? What a lovely picture, everyone's hugging. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. This is a powerful statement, is it not? Many of you do not see yourselves capable of such ambitious things. Today we want to speak about this feeling of weakness, smallness and powerlessness you have had cultivated in you through the disciplines in your culture. From day one, when you were a little child, you were told you were not as valuable as your parents. Children are not as valuable as adults. Throughout your childhood, you had this demonstrated to you through punishments and discipline. This began your belief in your unimportance, for the adults in your life did not value you. It is not their fault. They were trained children should be seen and not heard, and that rambunctious and happy children should be contained and controlled to serve society's needs. Well, we are here to get you to truly serve society's needs and see your grandeur, not your patheticness. We are here to train you to tap into the endless creative light that abides within you, so you radiate throughout your life the most magnificent vibration to attract people to you who say, "What are you doing that is different from everyone else? You are not cowering in the corner like everyone else. You're not medicating yourself into oblivion like everyone else. What is it you have done?" To this you merely say, "I trained my mind. I trained my mind to align with love. And that is what has given me the ability to shine this light and to achieve things beyond the norm." It is not easy to take on these lessons when you believe you amount to nothing, when you believe you are limited, powerless, and pathetic. We ask you, how does it feel to believe those things about yourself? Do you not feel inspired and happier after you have spent a few minutes with these words that uplift, strengthen, and encourage? These are the words that your parents should have said to you when you were little, but they did not know. We do not blame them. We merely state what has happened to many of you. You were never encouraged. You were never truly loved and told what you are. That is why these lessons work, because we tell you what you truly are and what you are capable of. You are the salvation of the world. You are the salvation in your world. You transform everything about your world as you begin to use these lessons on a daily basis, on a minute-by-minute basis. At times, when you struggle, you have to dig deep down into the lessons you have studied. You will find one to help you through every situation you encounter, and you will come out the other side seeing. Because you have trained your mind, you do not react the way you used to. You do not need what you used to need. You see you are powerful creators, indeed, and that you have everything you need. You do not need others to become something less so you can feel more. You feel wonderful, and so you do not require anything of them. You do not have to manipulate them or control them to get what you want. You are perfectly happy in your mind and body, and you know that you have a purpose. This allows you to be kind, patient, and compassionate, but not a doormat. Oh no. You are well acquainted with your strength and your ability to direct your mind, therefore your life, toward loving expression and extension, creativity, joy, and happiness. What a gift to everyone, including you. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will speak to you tomorrow. Yes, please. Namaste, beautiful ones.